confidence isn't something that you're born with. It's something that your brain learns. And if you ever felt like, oh my God, I'm just not that confident, I'm not a confident person, that's a lie. That's a lie. We can rewire your brain for confidence through neuroscience. Let's do it. Check it out. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Positivity Experience. It is your girl, Lori. We are halfway through March, which is funny to say because I'm not recording this then. I'm trying to be ahead of the game. So who knows? The weather might be nicer. It might not. But we are through the middle of March already. So we're getting closer to my birthday. I like my birthday. Always nice to be above ground. And this is such an important topic. It is something that I would dare to say we have all struggled with. Maybe some of us still struggle with it, and maybe you go in and out of it. But it's so important because I think there's this level of expectation that I think we have through confidence, or that we think confidence is. And you're not going to get confidence and then do the things. But we'll talk about that in a minute because I want to drop some science on you. And I mean, listen. We love science-backed stuff. I should speak for myself. I love science. I love to know why my brain does what it does. That's why I wanted to know it. That's why I do it now. I love that. But I also, me personally, I can kind of get caught up in the science of it, and it gets very sterile, right? It gets very clinical. And it's good to know why my brain does what it does because it's easier to not take it so personal. It's easier to be like, oh my God, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. What's wrong with me? So it's good. But I also like real world conversation for me personally. So I know there's somebody out there that does too. And so I figured out I can combine some of it so you can understand it. I have an amazing worksheet over on Patreon. It's going to give you an idea of, how can you build the confidence? What does that look like? Strategies to start, but I'm going to give you some here. It's really important. But if that is something that you're interested in, make sure that you pop on over to Patreon, patreon.com/the positivity experience. Drop by my website, positivityexperience.com. Plus there's links here in the show notes, and that can give you that free letting go workbook. And hopefully I will have more there for you. So feel free to join the mailing list. So let's jump into it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the science, but I'm going to give you some stories along the way. So there is this science of confidence. And I think, we as humans, we try to make sense of things. Like, well, why don't I have this? This is what it looks like. And then you start second guessing yourself. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Now, yes. Is there facts that you have developed this negativity bias and that it becomes habitual? And sometimes you're not pushing through that to get to the other side. Yes, that's a fact. But there's also some science behind it. Confidence is not a personality trait. And I think so many times you look at something and go, they are confident, which valid, but it's not a personality trait. So it's a neurological process. It really is. We've talked about this multiple times. You've got different parts of your brain. You've got all of these different areas. Trauma, various things can rewire your brain some, right? If every single day let's talk about habits for a minute. Every single day you come in, you put your keys in wherever, let's say it's on the counter, every single day. Well, after a while, you just come in, you put it down, you don't even think about it. So you've developed this habit. Your brain doesn't even really think about it. It just kind of goes that way. So now if you're like, you know what, I'm changing my habit. I'm going to start putting my keys on this hook. Okay, this sounds great. You come in, boom, put that on the hook. Well, you know what? You've been busy. You got a lot on your mind. You come in, you drop it down on the counter, and you're like, damn it, I thought I was going to put it up here. Your brain is now wired into automatic thinking. So think of that being the same way, but with confidence and self-doubt, right? And we're going to go into that a little bit deeper. But your self-belief is going to repeat that neuro pathway. So this is why there's science behind positive self-talk, gratitude, mindfulness, because your brain goes on automatic. Now listen, this is the pessimistic thinking. Okay, I can't do. I'm not good at. We understand that there's external circumstances, but when your brain has started to develop this one way, and again, there's other variable factors, ADHD, other things that come into play. But again, that doesn't mean that you're stuck in that system. You want to be careful of that because you'll get in that headspace of like, well, this is just how it is. This can be changed. It is so easy to just chalk it up to being like, it's just going to be. Some things, not this, not this. So you have your prefrontal cortex, which I feel like you and I talk about all the time. That's what should be just my nickname. Prefrontal, there she is. This is why, and it's so funny because Paul, my husband, when my son, who's now almost 29, when my son was younger in high school, he would do these things. And you'd almost be like, what the hell is wrong with you? And my husband would go, prefrontal cortex, because your prefrontal lobe doesn't really even get developed until you're in your 20s. Males are a little bit longer, women are a little bit shorter, and it's a developmental process. So when you're in your formative years, let's talk about when you're kids, babies, whatever, through your very early formative years, if you're given this input, it's going to almost wire your brain that way because you're still being formative. Sometimes people just don't know. So if you have a teenager as a kid and they're saying, you're like, why did you do this? And they're like, I don't know. That's not always an excuse. Sometimes it is. It's not always an excuse. Sometimes it's like, I don't know. I just did it because the prefrontal cortex isn't formed yet. So that is always in charge of your decision making. That's your prefrontal cortex. So if you have damage to it and then you have your impulsivity, so we know sometimes you need medication to change some things to kind of just help you cope with it. That's just a fact. But if you ever have those teenagers or anybody in your life at that early age who doesn't have that formed, those decision making things go directly out the window. Now, if you have had trauma, if you have been told constantly, if you can't do it right, don't do it all. Don't do it at all. I want you to really think of that because I know some of you have heard this. I certainly have. And this is where perfectionism comes in, by the way, for sure. But you're never confident enough. You're going to constantly be like, well, damn, I could have done this better. Why didn't I do this better? This isn't good enough. Well, how the hell are you ever going to get confidence that way? Because you have to remember your dopamine system drives confidence. Your dopamine system drives confidence. It's also behavioral regulation. And that helps evaluate your choice and anticipate outcomes. This is that anticipation. And that influences your confidence levels. So that's your PFC, prefrontal cortex. We're going to make it sexy. Your prefrontal cortex, your PFC, and that maintains your internal representations of task content. Now that's crucial for confident decision making. Okay, so that was a bunch of mumbo jumbo science-wise. So this means those fast fixes. You really like those fast fixes. But you say to yourself, am I making the right decision? Am I making the right decision? Will this be okay? That's not a confidence structure. That's oh my God. Well, what if it doesn't work out? Well, what if I fail at it? Well, failure's great. We've had this conversation. Failure's beautiful. That's how you learn. How the hell are you going to get confident if you don't make mistakes? There's no scenario, like I was saying at the top of the podcast, there's zero scenario where you get the confidence and do the things. Does not exist. Does not exist. It's do the things. Ooh, screw that up. Ooh, you tripped and fell. Good. Get up and do that again. Keep doing it. That's where you develop the confidence. Do it scared, right? Just do it. The Nike slogan. Just do it. Do it scared. Do it uncertain. If it doesn't work, screw it. It doesn't work. If you piss people off, screw it. You're going to piss people off anyway. That's a fact. But when you were a kid, I've used this example before. A lot of us don't remember this. Before we started walking, remember, you got to scoot first, then you got to crawl first, and you got to flip over, and then you got to crawl first. Then you can stand up and fall down, stand up, fall down, and then you start scooting and walking and doing those things. I promise you, I can guarantee you with all shadow of a doubt, you screwed that shit up multiple times. You fell, you hurt your head, you slammed your head, your balance was off. Well, guess what? You kept doing it, right? You kept doing it, and you kept doing it, and here we are. Same thing with driving. You're like, oh my God, I'm petrified of driving. You got the white knuckles. You're going extra slow. And then, like I said, 6 months from now, you got the music on. You're eating a burger. You're coming home. You're like, damn, how the hell did I get here? Look at that. You develop confidence by doing the things. That's the only way that's going to rewire your neural pathways. And I'll talk to you about that in a second. That's the only way. That is the only way. That is science. That's not opinion. I mean, I've given you examples that are like opinions, like, hey, this works, but that's a fact. Your dopamine system is reward and process. It rewards process. It just is. So your dopamine is a neurotransmitter that's associated with pleasure and reward. Think about that, pleasure and reward. This goes back to the damn social media. You're looking at it. It's pleasurable. It's reward, blah, 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 blah. That has nothing to do with confidence. Actually, sometimes social media can screw up your confidence even more. Why am I not doing this? I should be this way. Why can't? Okay. So that's why, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that at all. So it plays a huge part of your confidence. That's an activation of your dopamine system, and that enhances your confidence and accuracy in tasks. Now, a link of dopamine levels is attached to self-assuredness. Self-assuredness enhances confidence and accuracy of tasks. So that's your dopamine system. This is why those micro goals, this is why those baby steps, this is all of those things that come into play. This is why you'll see everything is connected. I've told you this multiple times. There's about 5 ways in the world to be happy, content, productive. There's about 5 ways. You're just hearing it in different factors, different ways, different fashions, whatever sticks. But let's not make this more complex than it is. But I'm guaranteeing you, stop waiting to be confident to do the things. So what? So what if it doesn't work? So what? Then you get up and you learn it again. It's why people don't start hobbies. Oh, I suck at pickleball. You will. Crochet sucks. You will. And you're not just going to do it once, but you're going to take your time and you're going to keep going back. The issue comes that you're looking for that fast reward, that fast dopamine hit. You will not be confident. Your brain will not be wired that way. It just won't. Why does your brain automatically go to self-doubt? Well, first of all, it's easy. Holy hell, it's so much easier to doubt yourself. So much easier. And in some ways, that doubt almost sets you up. Number one, you're setting yourself up for a quote unquote failure, but a negative perspective, not a learning perspective. You're setting yourself up in this way that says, if I'm going to doubt myself, whatever it is, right? I can't do it, da, 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 da. So you set yourself up for it. And let's say you went ahead and you told somebody else. Oh man, all right, I'll try it. I mean, I'm not good at it, but I'll try it. First of all, stop saying that. But let's say you did. And now let's say in your mind, you didn't do it, quote unquote, right. Well, now you go, well, see, I told you. I told you I couldn't do the damn thing. It's this way of letting yourself off some hook to prove that you're not good enough. But by saying that and by thinking that, you're automatically going, it's safe. See, that's safe. Believe it or not, you staying in self-doubt, you staying in a negative cycle is safe. It's no different than saying to somebody, okay, you start dating somebody, you're on a date. Day 1. Well, I'm just not good at relationships. I tell you, I've just had a bad picker. I am not good at relationships. I have a really hard time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now you've given yourself an out. If that doesn't work or whatever, see, I told you I'm not good at relationships. You're building this weird safety net. So your brain goes, well, I can't do this. So it's a safe thing. Now, why does that happen? You have early life for sure. Negativity bias. You have a negative bias. Any negative experiences that are established, that your neural pathways are going to favor self-doubt and fear. Again, let's go back to if you can't do it right, don't do it at all. Now we're going to perfectionism. Perfectionism is fake. Perfectionism is fake. It's not real. So you were always trying to do it just perfect, but you're never feeling like it is. So how the hell are you going to be confident? So it's growing up. It's also, let's be honest, it's also society. There's a high level in society that makes it a little harder for you to be confident. Because these rules, right? There's all these rules. You got to do this and you got to do that. You got to do this right. You got to do that right. And now we live in a world of so much technology and ways and shortcuts and all of these things. But some of the shortcuts make it to where you're even less confident than you were before. But this makes sense. If you were always in a place of hearing how bad you did something, or, oh, you got a 96, why didn't you get 100? And, oh, I'm sorry, you sounded a little stupid when you did that. Where's the confidence coming from? Your brain goes to self-doubt. This is a normal part of science, by the way. This is your brain on science. Your brain gets rewired that way. And again, it's so much easier to believe that because, again, you're in a safe space. As chaotic and as screwed up as it is, your brain goes, well, yeah, this is what we do. Like this is. And here's the beautiful thing. It doesn't have to stay that way. That's the beautiful part. You get to rewire that. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to? It's not fast. It's not fast. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take doing it scared. See, your brain's tendency is to prioritize any negative bias. It just is. And it reinforces the patterns, creating self-doubt response. It is just a part of your brain. I mean, it's just so much easier. Isn't it easier for you to just not do something? Let's be honest. Isn't it easier for you to look around? Now, some of it's overwhelmed, but that's a whole different podcast. I actually have a podcast on that anyway. But isn't it easier to look around and be like, nah, I don't want to work on myself. I'm going to keep it real with you. Self-healing, getting through all of your crap, it's hard as hell. It's a pain in the ass. It is a pain in the ass because you have to be repetitive. You have to hear the same things. Stop trying to be, okay. Yep, I know that. Let's go to the next thing. No, you got to stay here. We got to be repetitive. We got to keep doing this. Let's say you're working with me or whatever, we're going to stay on a specific topic for a while. Yeah, but I want to learn. That's your problem. Your problem is you're trying to get all of the knowledge, but you ain't doing it on a regular basis. You're not, because you're trying to get this, okay, I'm good at it, or I should know better. Oh yeah, this is a big one. I have the tools. I should know better. Well, how the hell are you going to have confidence with that? Just because you know something doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're not going to drop balls here and there. That's not real world. So you're trying so many things. And again, we go back to the beginning of childhood. And it's just your brain is going to go there and it's reinforcing those patterns because now you're going to see it as negative, even if it's just neutral. Sometimes if it's neutral or you feel like I'm going behind, you got to drop the ball. You gotta, because that's how you're going to form that. You know, I use Michael Jordan a lot. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team, 10th grade. Cut from his high school team. Well, guess what? He wasn't like, oh my God, I suck, I'm terrible. No, he's like, all right, I don't know what I did, but let's keep going. Confidence says it's okay to fail. Confidence says I don't need to know all the answers. Confidence says I will never know all the answers. Vulnerability is confidence. That's correct. Being vulnerable is confident. Listen, I have shortcomings. Let's talk about them. Confidence is, I can tell you I have ADHD. I can tell you I have anxiety, and I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about it. I'm confident. Not because I'm a victim to it. I'm confident that it's a part of me, and I'm going to use it to the best of my ability, and I don't care if somebody else doesn't understand it. But that is not where I started. That was not where I started. When you're lacking confidence, especially early on, you're trying to fit in. You're trying to pretend to be something that you're not. So if somebody listens to country music, I'm always going to use that because I can't stand it. If somebody says that these are my favorite groups and I want you to come, and I'm like, sure, that's because not only am I trying to be liked, I'm trying to look like I like it so I look confident. Your body language displays your confidence levels. If your shoulders are slouched and you're looking down and you're having a hard time with eye contact and you're kind of like talking a little bit like this, you're not confident. That's not a judgment. That's a fact. So the way that you carry yourself is also going to demonstrate the level of confidence. And that's actually how you start rewiring it. But I'm getting way ahead. So you have neuroplasticity. You've heard me say this before. Think of that as Play-Doh. Let's think of that as Play-Doh. And they're pathways, but let's say it's Play-Doh. Listen, you can rebuild things. You really can. Even in Play-Doh, if it dries out, guess what? You can add fluid to it and we're good. So your brain has the capability to do this. It truly, truly does. You don't have to believe me, believe science. And some of you want science and then you don't believe science anyway. I don't know what to tell you. Your brain has the ability to change despite these ingrained patterns. They really do. It creates this self-doubt response, like I said, so we can shift that. If your brain is adaptable, and that's through the plasticity, your neuroplasticity. Your brain is adaptable. So hear what I said. If you feel that you're not adaptable to situations, you can be. If your brain can do it, I promise you can do it. I promise you. And then you're forming new neural pathways. So what that's doing is that's enabling the replacement of self-doubt. Your brain can do it. I know. You're going to say, well, everybody else can, but I can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Don't be self-doubtful. Don't have self-doubt about being confident. You can do this. Is it going to take a minute? Yes. Does that mean we have to incorporate some of the other stuff we talk about? Distancing from people who are not serving your best and highest good. Accepting that you do not need closure, that closure happened the moment that whatever went wrong. Accepting that relationships that you want may not be the best ones for you. Confidence is knowing you're going to be okay. And you may not have to believe it right away, and that's okay. Because if you believed it right away, then you'd be trying to achieve perfectionism, and it takes a minute. It takes a minute. So if you keep walking the same path every day on grass, everybody does, it like tampers down, right? It tampers down. So you have that constant kind of pathway. So it's easier to take that than it is to forge a different path, like say a cornfield. Okay. It's easier to do that. But guess what? You can change that other one. As you change it, wherever you were before on that grass will start to grow up again. It really will. It's going to take a minute. And then this other path might take a minute to have that beaten down path. But you can't sit there and say you can't do it, because you can. It is scientifically proven that you can. Now, on the other side of that, you can have science all damn day. Great. Your brain can do that. What the hell does that look like for me? Well, it's going to be consistency. It's going to be showing up for yourself when you don't feel like it. It's going to be going and doing the presentation, even if you screw the damn thing up. It's going to be standing and having a confrontation or some kind of a conflict that may or may not go as you want it to. But guess what? You'll have better skills. There is zero scenario. I don't care how much freaking science you hear. There's zero scenario where you get the confidence and do the things. Absolutely not. Doesn't exist. You have to have deliberate practices through your restructuring. Now, this is where your mindset switch is going to be imperative. This is where it's all about mindset. It's all about allowing yourself to say, I'm going to do this without having to ask 8 million people. Here's a little test for you. Just a little test. Anything this week, anything today, anything this week that you think I have to ask somebody. Like I have to ask somebody before I make this decision. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe don't buy a $70,000 car without communicating it. I'm talking about when it comes to you. Make a freaking decision. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's your choice. Your choice. Your decision is your choice. Stop waiting for this next person. You will never gain confidence. You will always be looking to somebody else. And your brain will constantly be doing that on a regular basis. And that's what you don't want to do. But that's going to take repetitive action. That's going to take being uncomfortable. That's going to take doing the damn thing, looking stupid, looking like somebody's going to go, oh, I think that was a bad move. It doesn't matter. It was mine. The moment somebody tries to throw up, well, I told you so, distance from that, please. Right? Distance from that. You're supposed to screw things up. I don't know how many times to put that in how many different languages. You are supposed to do that. That's how your brain can scientifically get rewired. Repetitive action, gratituding, affirmations, living to be the person that you're trying to be. Live that way. How else are you going to know that it's okay until you start making decisions for yourself? So today, this week, make a decision. Don't ask somebody you can say, this is where I would like to eat. I'd like to go to Mexican. Don't vary off of that. If you want Mexican, go to Mexican. Period. Make a decision. You want your hair cut? Cut it. Don't cut your hair out of emotion, by the way. That's bad. We don't break up and then go on no, we don't want to do that. So here's how you do your brain rewiring strategy. Implementing a restructuring approach that can facilitate the development of lasting confidence. This is what we're talking about here. Do it scared, do it uncomfortable, screw it up, and do it often. Because you're going to look and go, okay, what did I learn from that? Okay, cool. What did you learn? Great. Now listen, sometimes you're going to make the same things. You see this a lot in relationships. You're like, what the hell? I keep making those same damn things. Well, yes, because now we're going into attachment. Now we're going into a variable amount of things that we have to work on. But confidence is going to be the thing. Go out on a date. Okay, you've had bad relationships in the past. All right, let's analyze. Let's analyze what it is. I'm not confident in selecting partners. Okay, well, do we know what our core values are? Do we know what we're seeking? So in order to be confident with a decision, you have to kind of start with yourself. I'm just specifically talking about relationships now. What do you want? Are you confident in knowing that this is valid for you? And guess what? If that means you got to be alone for a while, then you need to do that. And then if you have a problem with that, go back to the podcast on fear of being alone. And not even that. What's this mindset that you have around being alone? What is it that you're looking at that as a negative? Is there a level of attachment? Is there a level of codependency? What is it that you're holding on to? What is it that you're not confident in? That I can do it on my own? Well, guess what? It might be harder. Oh, it's definitely going to be harder. But you can do the damn thing. You did it. Hey, you're listening to this podcast, right? So you have survived things. What the hell are you talking about? You can do hard things. You've done it already. Yeah, it's created some trauma. It's created some lack of direction, but you did the damn thing. So you can't tell me that you can't do it. That's a lie. You've done it already. You've already gotten to this point. You just kind of did it in an awkward way. The amount of screw up that I've done in my lifetime, the amount of ridiculous decisions that I made out of survival is crazy. But I did what I did. And my confidence is knowing that I did what I had to do during a survival. Yes, confidence comes with that. Confidence isn't, I always screw things up. No, confidence says, you know what? Let me look at the patterns. Did I have attachment? Do I have attachment? Let me address that. Confidence says, let me look at my shortcomings. Let me look at the things that I've done and let me focus on working on that. That's how you get it. You're changing different direction. You're changing the path. Small wins, this is how you do confidence exposure. Small wins is a rewired belief system. Small wins. Oh my God, this is so important. Engaging in tasks that present manageable challenges for small wins. Oh my God, that's going to build so much confidence. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to do some small task, small accomplishment and go, well, yeah, okay, big deal. That was what everybody does that. What the hell are you doing that for? A small win. And this is, I'm not even lying to you. What you do, let's talk about a small win. A small win can say, I'm going to drink 8 ounces more of water today. Small win. Small win. Okay, maybe you have to make a conscious effort. Maybe you have to put a reminder. Maybe you have to do whatever. But let's say you drink the 6 to 8 ounces of water today. Great. We're not worried about tomorrow. Now we would like for you to do that more frequently because that's going to rewire your neural pathway. But let's celebrate that. Let's not go, well, it was only 6 ounces. I need to drink another 32. Pump your brakes. Stop it. Small win. You did it. That's why, again, science-backed based on productivity. I do think I need to do maybe some work with you guys on productivity and stuff. How the reward system, your RAS system, that lets your brain know, hey, look at us, we did good. That's why checklists are amazing. This doesn't mean 743 tasks to get done in that day. No, that's why you put 3 things. Again, science-backed. 3 things on your task list for the day. Great. Have an amazing year-long goal or 5-year plan, 1-year plan, whatever the case may be. Go ahead and have that. And then you're going to build back. You're going to build out in months to meet that goal, months to weeks, weeks to days, and sometimes days to hours. So this is why you start your task list every single morning. Start a fresh task list. 3 things, 3 things, not 800. And one of those things on your task list has to be something, not has to be, I'm encouraging it to be easy. Something that you would look to be like, the hell? That's like normal stuff. That's like what people do. Stop doing that, because your brain can say, oh my gosh, look at this. I can do it. And then do that again tomorrow. And then do that again tomorrow. And then guess what? You might fall back with some old behavior. That's okay. You want one task that you can check off or erase, or, however you do it, that says, I did this. Don't shit on the things that you think are too small, or things that everybody should do, or things that, stop doing that. And as you start to do that, you start getting more confident. Well, I could do that. I mean, I did do that. This is where self-discipline becomes your best friend, because I cannot begin to tell you how many times you try to go balls to the wall, especially the beginning of the year. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then you've had way too much on your task list. You made it completely unachievable or unrealistic. And now you stop doing it. So now you suck and you can't maintain it, and you don't have any self-discipline, and you'll never be able to do it because stop. This is a rhetoric that is not a true statement. What we can look at is go, okay, maybe I had an unrealistic goal of losing 10 pounds in a month. Maybe I put too much on my task list that I didn't even think I wanted to do. And I don't mean like paying taxes and crap like that. I mean, you decided this is what you needed to do because this is what's expected of you through your parents, your spouses, your society, whatever the case may be. So part of the reason you get overwhelmed and feel lack of confidence is you're trying to do things for other people. So no, maybe you're not going to be the best lawyer on the planet because that's not really what you want to do. And is there really a best lawyer on the planet? Not really. So what you're looking for is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to learn? That's going to make it way more actionable. So let's say it was play the guitar. Whatever, okay, you're going to learn to play the guitar. Well, you're not going to start a band day one, okay? We're not going to be starting bands. We're going to be learning the basics. My cat, I do this on YouTube, and all you're going to be able to see right now is orange because it's my cat, and he's moving things around. And he's confident. He's like, I don't care. This is what I do. But you're not going to just hit it out the park and start a band. Oh, my God, we got this band. All right, you have no idea what the first chord is. And now we're 7 days ahead talking about I'm going to start a band. No, you're not. No, you're not. Let's get you through your basic chords. Let's get you through screwing it up. Let's get you through doing that for 6 months to a year. Then let's talk about possibly starting a band. Is that what you really want to do? Do you really want to start a band? Or do you just think you're supposed to? Or are you looking for some fast fix? No. So you can see very often your confidence level, your lack thereof, is because you're trying to do everything over the top. You're trying to get to the Super Bowl without doing any of the work. So how the hell are you going to be confident with that? Because in your mind, you're looking for something to fill those voids. Baby steps. Baby steps is where you will gain your confidence, but repetitive actions in that. If you want to know how to fix it, that's how you're going to fix it. I don't know what fix it. If you want to learn how to have more confidence, that's your goal, is that. And screw it up royally, and go, okay, instead of telling yourself that you're a pain in the ass and you're not smart and you're stupid, instead of doing that, let's go, okay, did that work? No. Okay. What do I need to do to switch that up some? Okay, this is what it is. Confidence also comes with understanding that there's no one path. You might have a plan, but then you reevaluate and go, that's not how I want it. Let me give you an example in business. Years ago, I never took deposits. People could just book sessions with me. I'd put you on the calendar. Great. And then You know what? You'd wake up that day and go, yeah, I don't want to go. The weather's nice outside. Well, now I'm screwed because that time slot is now gone. So I kept putting myself through this discomfort and going, well, I hope I have sessions today. Okay. You're going to lose confidence and you're going to be on a survival skill. So where did that come from? I'm putting a non-refundable deposit in there. Don't show if you don't want to. You're not getting that money back. In the beginning, I was like, oh my God, what if nobody books with me? Because holy crap. Well, you know what? If somebody's not willing to put a deposit down, I don't want them as a client anyway, because that means you're not serious about your stuff. It has nothing to do with money. That means that lets me know that you're wishy-washy, because if you're booking a session with me, you already know that there's a fee, right? I'm not saying that you have to have money. I'm saying we're talking about me here. If you're going to book a session with me in the beginning, before I even took deposits, you knew that it was going to be a paid system. You knew that. People are more inclined to show up for themselves and be valuable within their own time and mind if there was a pay structure in there, a non-refundable deposit. If you go to the dentist and you know ahead of time, if I make this appointment at the dentist and I cancel this appointment, I'm going to get a $70, $80 fee. You know that. You're going to be a hell of a lot more inclined to show up. And the dentist is not like, I wonder if they're going to be my patient. No, dentist is like, this is how it is. Confidence came from doing it scared, because I was petrified. And I said, but I got to look and say, what's beneficial to me? Number one, I don't want to work with someone who kind of isn't sure. Well, you're going to come, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to be scary. And you're going to show up for yourself. And you know what? It is what it is. It worked for us all. But I was scared to death to do that. So if you have something in your life that you're afraid to implement because you're afraid you're not going to have friends, you're not going to have customers, you're not going to have clients, you're not going to have these things, stop doing that, because you better do it scared. It's better for you. It's better for the people around you. And you know what? Not everybody's going to get on board. I have clients who have salons, hair salons. And they're like, okay, things are getting more expensive, obviously. I'm working way too hard. I want to work smarter, not harder. And I got to raise my prices. What if I lose clients? Then you lose clients. Then that's what happens. Or are you going to allow yourself to set that price and know, hey, this is what it is, because you don't want to have to keep paying the extra. The color's going up. All of these prices are going up to everything around us in the world today. We can all see that anywhere we live. It is what it is. That's how you're going to have to price it. And you will. People are going to fall off, but new people will come. So you can't do that out of fear either. A scarcity mindset will never breed confidence. Trust me, I get it. I understand, especially when it came to money. Your girl lived in a van. I was eating seasoning salt for dinner. I was not born with money. And even now, as a person who owns their own business with unstable, basically, income, it's scary as hell. I'm not going to lie to you. Scary. But I can't let that fear dictate it. I can't do that, because then I'm going to go into second guessing myself, and I'll never do that. But that comes with practice, and that comes with showing up for yourself. And it comes with knowing what your value is, what your worth is, and what your time is. And it's not even about having your own business. It's about anything that you're doing in your life right now. Anything that you're doing in your life right now. Each success reinforces a positive neural pathway, and that shifts you from doubt to reassurance. Every single one. Your dopamine conditioning, positive reinforcements, that cultivates confidence. Intentionally associating positive emotions with specific actions, which conditions the brain to favor confidence. Right? We're going to give our brain something else to look at besides just the negative. You're going to celebrate your achievements, regardless of how minor, and you're going to practice gratitude. Practice gratitude for the things that have been removed out of your life. Practice gratitude for the things that you screwed up along the way. That's what you practice gratitude for. Not all of the accomplishments. That's fine. Be grateful for those. But screwing up, have gratitude for that. Doing things scared. Starting your new Etsy business. Maybe having an Etsy business. But you know what? You want to raise your prices now. Raise them. Raise them. Because your time is valuable. Be confident in that. Maybe you want to write the book. Write the book. What if nobody buys it? Then nobody buys it. The book that I'm writing, I hope some of you get it, not for me, but because I think it's going to help you while understanding me even a little bit more. But I can't worry about if anybody's going to buy it. I'm doing it because I know what my story is and I know that it's helped people. And I'm going to build the ship and you can come or you cannot. Be confident, and be confident in knowing that it's okay to still feel insecure. Be confident in knowing you're going to try new things and it's going to be petrifying. You're going to try new things and you're going to have to do that shit insecure. Insecure as hell. You will be afraid. That is where confidence is built. That's where it's built. Conditioning, constant, consistent practices. That's reinforcing self-insurance. That's it. You're embodying it. Okay, embodying it physically. Shoulders back, head up. Oh, I just pushed you in the head. Looking at it as the horizon, right? Pretend like you're looking out in the ocean for a minute and the horizon is like, say, in the middle place. Keep your head just a little bit above the horizon, just a little bit. Chin up, right? Head up. Walk with confidence. I don't care if you're really not confident yet. Your brain is going to catch up with that. Eye contact. And I know many people have a hard time with eye contact. We're working on that. We'll talk about it. We know that that's insecurity. We know that that's fear of confrontation. We're aware of it. But I'm telling you, this is what you want to do. Eye contact. Head up. Shoulders back. Walk with confidence, even though you might not feel confident. You got to almost, fake it till you make it kind of thing. But do that. But don't just go into it with fake it till you make it. Say, this is what I'm going to do. Like I said, your tone of voice. Hey, yes, this is how it is, right? See, tone of voice. Listen, some people aren't going to like your tone of voice. It is what it is. Confidence is going to look like cockiness to people who don't have it. Confidence is going to look like they think that you're better than them because you're confident. Confidence is never walking into a room thinking that you're better than anybody else. But confidence is walking to a room knowing that you belong there. That's a difference. Not better than. Insecurity, confidence is not, insecurity is not confident. I did serve this more than anybody else. That's not confidence. It's insecurity. It is. A narcissist is extremely insecure. Hard to believe, I know, but it's true. So remember, confidence isn't, I don't belong in that room. Confidence is, I absolutely belong in that room, but you're not better than anybody else. I don't care if you're the top neurosurgeon, the top public speaker, the top doctor in the world. I'd belong in that same room, and so do you. You always want to be the least knowledgeable in the room. I've told you that. Unless you've hired me to be least knowledgeable and talk about it, I want to know the less. I want to know the least, because then I can learn. When you understand this is a lifelong process, a lifelong learning process, and you always want to glom on and listen, don't be jealous of somebody. Pull inspiration. Reach out to them. Wow, this looks great. I would love to know your format. It might not work for me. Don't be jealous of somebody. Reach out to them. I see that, wow, this is really inspirational. How did you get here? Because you'd be surprised. All those people that you think have all the answers are still every single day learning and didn't wake up that way. Trials and tribulations, that's what makes people the most confident. Not that you got 6 degrees from Yale. Great. What the hell are you doing with it? I would much rather talk to somebody who's gone through it, has some knowledge, gone through it, than just have somebody with 6 degrees and I'm not relatable to them. That doesn't work for me. And I know it doesn't work for a lot of you. It's true. And standing tall, maintaining that literally, what does that do? Science-wise, it can activate your neural circuits. And that's associated with power and self-esteem. You can freaking do it. Don't sit there. I hear some of your brains right now. Yeah, but it's hard. Stop doing that shit. Please stop telling me it's hard. Life is hard. Staying stuck is hard. Don't do that. Number 1. Number 2, you're like, yeah, I just don't know if I can. You can. I'm telling you, you can. You've done it because you got here. So I know what you're capable of. You might not know that yet, but I will hold space because you can do the damn thing. Are you going to piss people off? Yup. You're going to suck at it? Yup. You're going to piss people off and hurt their feelings? Probably. Not intentional. Are you going to have to clear some people out of the way, or a version of you may have to grow? Yes. Going to be hard? Yup. Can you do it? Absolutely. So let's get it together. Stand tall, because you absolutely can.
Check it out.